Too many people in the chat said Mitch. All right, big shout out to BetUS for sponsoring this segment. Let's dive into it. Mitch Johnson, what do you have to say, my boy? He has been a phenomenal coach. I probably need to start off with that, okay? So the question that you see everywhere is this the successor for Greg Popovich? To that, I say probably. I personally don't think Popovich will be back. At this point, I just don't. It just doesn't. I'm not a doctor, right? But just hearing at his age, having a even mild stroke, in rehab, he could be back at any moment. I just don't know. And I'm not one of those people that's like weird about it, where like I have some underlying thing with Pop and I'm kind of happy that he's underlying, because people won't say this, but a lot of people are happy. You can kind of read between the lines. Some certain tweets out there when it comes to Pop, they're happy that he's not going to be coaching. I'm not one of those people. I absolutely love Popovich. I think that he is the greatest of all time, and I think that our team does miss him, right? While Mitch Johnson is doing a really great job, this isn't his program. It's still Popovich's program. So, we're yet to see what a whole offseason and preparation looks like under Mitch Johnson. But it is the NBA, and in the NBA, as far as coaching influence, you're not going to get another Pop. Coaches are important, but, your star power is equally, if not slightly more important than the coach that you have on the sideline. Actually, I would say quite a bit more important than the coach you have on the sidelines, right? So, but with all that being said, if I had to put money on it, I would go ahead and say, yeah, we go for it with Mitch Johnson. Seems like the guys are resonating with him. Seems like he's coming into his own. Seems as if he is completely comfortable now. Yeah, I just like the way that I like his rotations. I like how he's getting on to everybody. I saw him yell at a few guys already, so he got that pop in him, He got that pop in him. Go Pop, get well soon. I cannot wait till we get to see Pop again. I love Pop. All right, let's listen to our coach. We're going to call him Coach, all right, because he's our coach. Hopefully it's not too loud for you. Oh, it's not loud at all for you. Hold on. Let me turn it up.
Mitch, I might get these final numbers a little wrong, but 21 forced turnovers, 14 steals. Can you talk about the defensive effort tonight on the road?
Yeah. We're one of the best defensively, by the way. Top 5 in the NBA. If you don't believe me, you should. I don't know why you don't believe me. You should believe me. Just had it up. So let's see. NBA top defense teams. 24. 23, 24, that is. Here we go. This is from Fox Sports. Team defensive ratings. Or rankings. Ratings. Sorry. San Antonio Spurs, 5. We might be higher now. We might be at 4. No, I don't know if we jumped that far. That's pretty tough to do. Yeah, we're probably still around 5. So, yeah, Spurs top 5 in the NBA, if not top, 10. So, all right. You hear my cat? What are you meowing about? Stop meowing. Mitch Johnson's talking.
I thought the first half was pretty bad. So, again, we've had a couple of these games, but they picked it up in the second half. The activity was great. Blake Wesley, Julian Champagny, and Sandro. I thought they led the charge there in that second half and kind of flipped the game with their energy and activity, especially on defense.
And then the boards as well. That seems like something you guys turned around over the course of the game.
Yeah, at some point it was like, 20-5 or something early on. Again, we weren't getting any offensive rebounds on our misses, and they were getting some on the other end as well. So it was a double-edged sword, and I thought we cleaned it up a little bit as the game went on, which obviously ended up evening the possessions in our favor a little bit.
Can you speak to Steph and his confidence again tonight?
Honestly, Mikey, I don't think it's that crazy. Mike said, and by the way, after this, we'll do our sponsor, and then I'll take a look at all the comments that come through, or at least most of them. But I don't think that's too crazy. Mikey says crazy how adding adding vets and Castle improved our defensive efficiency. I actually don't think it's that crazy. I think that makes complete sense. that aspect of our game would improve. Like, because the team just didn't really know how to play good team defense at all. And Castle is that great of a defender. He was in college. Yeah, and our main issue last season was what? Number one, not necessarily having a backup to Wemby. Charles Bassey being hurt all season. And then our perimeter defense. And adding Chris Paul, who is not a slouch defensively, mind you. Lots of people overlook him because of how short he is. But, like, he can defend. He's a good defender. And then, you know, Castle and Harrison Barnes is a big upgrade at that small forward position. A position that's kind of vacant right now, let's be honest. So, yeah. Perimeter defense was horrid. It was terrible. Yeah. And you see this game in particular, Steph Castle's guarding everybody. It was just too much on Jeremy Sohan last season to do everything. And that's another thing. We don't have him back. So Spurs should end up being like a top 3 defense when it's all said and done.
Yeah, he's a mature young man that continues to show us in a variety of ways that he is ready for this, and he's going to continue to grow and play through some of these young mistakes, but his confidence and approach is unwavering.
You mentioned Blake and
Spurs
Marlon.
always get these guys that aren't afraid of the moment, especially early on the draft. Like, mentality is it's not the most, but it's one of the most important things that the Spurs look at.
There was that one wild possession in the fourth where I think Chris missed one, and then Blake and Mamu were on the ground tipping the rebound out. Got like 3 more shots, and finally ends up Mamu hitting a 3. Like,
You sound like a fan, reporter.
what does that do for you, and how demoralizing is it to be on the other side of that?
For sure.
Possession?
A lot of times, those are the plays that can, they're worth more than the points, right? It lifts up the team, the bench, the energy. It helps you on the next possession defensively. And the other end, it can be a little deflating because sometimes whether you had a decent possession or you were trying to play offense, and now, the shoulders go down and the body language, it happens to everybody. But those plays, when you're able to take advantage and produce some of those, is very helpful.
Did Zach get injured?
They took out their heart, man. Seriously, you could see it. You could see the Jazz heart just get taken out of their chest. I knew we were gonna win like near the beginning of the fourth quarter. Our defense was just too much for them. They gave up. They absolutely gave up. Colin Sexton didn't, but the team gave up. They didn't know what to do.
Injured or something? It was
No.
more of a coach's decision.
Just, we've been fortunate that Victor, Zach, Charlie, all those guys have given us good minutes. And again, our depth is hopefully slowly becoming one of our strengths and just giving guys opportunities. And Charlie didn't play the last game or so, I believe, after he had a good run. And we want to give him a shot today.
And is Vic, as far as you know, good to go in the second out of a back-to-back tomorrow?
Have not heard, but yeah, we hope that he can. But
I believe from Tip. Okay, I'm gonna look at the chat after, but yeah, I believe that they will win. But I by the fourth quarter, I was like, yeah, this is a win. Like, undoubtedly a win.
we'll see.
Okay.
Mitch, you're playing a team 4 times in essentially 2 months. How important was it to get that win against a familiar opponent and now playing tomorrow again? Kind of stepping back up again tomorrow.
It's always hard playing teams multiple times in a short amount of time. It's NBA, every team's good. People know your stuff, tendencies for individuals, plays that you run, all those types of things. So you just kind of need the consistency of your identity to do the job. And I thought in the second half, we did a good job of that.
Thanks, Mitch.
Thank you.
Oh, that was good. That was cool. That was nice. Did you guys like that? Did you like that? Well, I have something else you could like. Also, Champagnian is a lockdown. Oh, we're gonna get to that. We'll talk about all this stuff that you guys had to say. But San Antonio Spurs. If you guys are interested at all, head on over to BetUS. Just use promo code YouTube150. You'll receive 150% bonus on your first deposit, 125% bonus on your second and third deposit, up to $2,000. There's lots of different stuff that you can bet on here. Just out of giggles, let's see. What are NBA specials? NBA specials. Denver Nuggets, Detroit Pistons make the playoffs. Well, at least we're not on the money line. They're not like, hey, bet on the Spurs. Like, I guess that's a good thing. Detroit Pistons making the playoffs or not. NBA championship, obviously we would be on there. But hey, our chances are better than the Hawks, and that's all that we care about. And the Bulls. Wait, no, we want the Bulls to do well. That's not good. That's actually not a good thing. We want the Bulls in the playoffs. Anyways, if you guys are interested, I'll head on over to or Bet US. I'm sorry, and use promo code YouTube 150. All right, let's see what you guys had to say. Someone asked. This is a random question. I can't find it now. Asked my top 5 players. Addy T-Rolla. Give me your top 5 Spurs guys all time. Manu Ginobili's number 1. Obviously Tim Duncan. Obviously Tony. Gosh, as far as guys I experienced, you're not saying like the best of all time. You're saying the guys I've experienced that I love, I guess. Probably Kyle Anderson and then Derek White. I think that will be my 5 that I experienced. I don't think those are the greatest of all time, but those are the ones I experienced that I love. Yeah. Love Simmons. I love Simmons too. Yeah, Jonathan Simmons was cool. I actually really liked, Gary Neal. I like Gary Neal. I think it was some problems with pay or him wanting more minutes or something. I don't know. I wasn't into the like drama lore back then. I wasn't keeping up. All I knew is he was gone, and I was upset. I think that was part of the reason why a lot of people didn't embrace Marco Bellinelli as much, because he was Gary Neal's replacement. And Gary Neal was so great. Or he had his moments. Gary Neal had some really big moments for us. One that comes to mind was the big 3 he hit against the Memphis Grizzlies in 2012. It was like win or go home situation. He hit a big 3. Bruce Bowen for you. Okay. Patty Mills, Bonner, Bryn, the wife beater Forbes. That's messed up. Bryn is, I don't know what the heck, dude. Didn't it happen twice? It was crazy. Oh, gosh. I don't even know where he's at right now. Is he in jail? He probably should be. Wow, bro. Interesting top 5. Thanks. Yeah, I mean, this is my 5 that I love, you know. Oh, yeah, Kawhi was my favorite for a super long time, too. I just couldn't. I mean, I don't really see him that way. Like, I appreciate him being. Obviously, I still have, like, the statue over here. I appreciate it for what it was. And I have fond memories, but no. Kawhi's not on my top 5. 5 favorites, that is. George Hill, Forbes, Jefferson, McDyess, and Dwan Blair. That is really random. Don't sleep on McDyess, though. McDyess was cool. Lonnie Walker, Danny Green. I lost 1K on Utah. You bet that Utah would beat the Spurs? Why did you think that? What made you think that? All right, let's see what other comments we had here before we end this segment. These reporters be on Clan's live stream. After these post games, Kendrick Perkins said on a podcast that Wemby shouldn't be leading Defensive Player of the Year race because we're not top 6 seed moving goalpost again. Huh? Oh my goodness, he can't win. We're back on that? God, dude, same stupid argument last year. Oh, you're a bad team, so you can't get Defensive Player of the Year. Gosh, when you get to the territory of, oh, you also need to have X amount of wins, then we're no longer just talking about Defensive Player of the Year. Now we're talking about MVP. You need to be MVP and Defensive Player of the Year candidate. That's so dumb. Perkins said, they say such silly things. Wow, Josh Primo, Red Rocket Bonner. Oh, I saw what you did there. That's messed up. I used to love watching Sean Elliott and Avery Johnson throwing lobs to David Robinson in the early 90s. That's pretty cool. Sean Elliott and Avery Johnson. Avery Johnson was the vocal leader of the San Antonio Spurs when they won in 99. Now, I wasn't a fan in 99. I was basically a baby. Steve Kerr. Okay. All right. No one really. Most of these comments here are just wanting Pop to get better, and nothing crazy here. Let's see. Any praise for Mitch Johnson? Mitch incoming 5 championships. They got to get on a plane back to San Antonio. Castle's learning acceleration is very rare. I think he's just always been well coached. He has the thing about Castle that I think is pretty special is he has a very solid base. And a lot of rookies, they come into the league and they have all the talent in the world. Maybe they were well coached, but they have all the talent in the world, but they just don't have the discipline, the fundamentals. And I feel like he built his game off from a very good foundation, and that's part of what makes him so good. Jackson thought he was better than Ginobili. Makes no sense. Bro just had a good family upbringing, etc. He was made for it. His father played with Tim at Wake Forest. Yeah, that too. I mean, he brings that up all the time too, that his dad coached him. So, yeah, just a super solid foundation. Learned those fundamentals early. All right, we're in this segment. Some people said Boris Diaw, Robert Horry, Aldridge were their favorites, or in their top 5. All right.